Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel, and today we start a new series of tutorials about Python data structure, and we will learn together collection data structure in this tutorial and the next series of tutorials. We will start with list. List is expected to take from 3 to 4 tutorials to be completed, and let's start together. And please review all of the tutorials from the beginning to this number 40 to be aligned with the reminder of these tutorials. So let's start by the definition. A collection is a single variable that is used to store or hold multiple variables. Okay, so a list can be classified to a Python collection, and its structure is affiliated to Python collection data structure, the structure of the list, I mean. So a list is 1D or 2D collection, meaning that the list can hold multiple values in one dimension when we use only similar quantitative or measurements, or sometimes different, but this can be in one dimension like a vector, okay? Or it could be like 2D collection. So we will also see examples of the 2D collection when there are lists of lists together, like combined. This 1 or 2D collection can store different primitive data types. Okay, so in Python there are primitive data types like integer, floats, string data type, and there are a collection data type. The collection data type, from the definition, it's a variable that can hold one or more than one item. Okay, this is the definition of the list. Now the more formal definition is of a list. A list is one type of sequence. So we learn together about string in Python, and string in Python, as we said, it's like a sequence of characters, and because of it is a sequence of characters, we can access it using index. Now, more formal definition of the list, following the same step or footprint of the string, it is one type of sequence where the sequence is an iterable, something that we can iterate using for or while loop with, okay, and it also contains a clear order, okay, meaning that we can access it using index, which is the exact meaning of a clear order, okay. So a list is one type of sequence where the sequence in general, such as if it's a string or if it's a list, is an iterable, meaning that I can do iteration. I can employ it within a for loop, okay? And this contains a clear order, or the exact definition of a clear order, we can access it using index, okay? Because it is stored in the memory and in locations, and we can access this location, okay? So this is the syntax of the sequence. This is not just for Python and for other programming language. The sequence, by definition, is iterable plus order. So something we can iterate in or with plus the order. There are many common sequences. String, and we highlighted the string. Go back and watch the tutorial about the strings. We did, I think, 3 tutorials. Then we will have list, okay, as a common sequence, which is a Python collection data structure, okay, or Python, one of the Python collection data structure, one type, okay. And we have tuple. The tuple will be highlighted also after finishing the list and 2D list or 2D collection of list. And we will have byte, we will have dictionary. The dictionary will be also highlighted, okay, in the next tutorials, okay. The dictionary is also called in some programming language like associated arrays or math. We also will give 2 to 3 tutorials to cover all of the topics related to the Python collection data structure. There are some characteristics that characterize list from the others, okay? Or how can I characterize list from tuple or dictionary, which are the most used data structure after the object-oriented class, okay? So in Python, and like in the production or the real projects, the dictionary and the object-oriented classes are used together with list and tuple as the common dictionary, the common data structure types. There are different characteristics that can characterize this list. The first thing, it can be initiated using double square brackets like this. I can do it like this, but by this way I can initiate a list, okay? This is a list, okay? This is an empty list. Remember, as what I mentioned before, I cannot do like this, okay? Since list, it is already reserved word in Python. So don't use like list, don't use like some, don't use what is stored in Python before or what is built in functions or variables or a global variable. It comes with the Python. Don't use it, but try to use your own representative values. Okay, so the list can be initiated with the double square brackets. Okay, it can hold much different data type. For example, in one list we can see only strings, or in one list we can see mix of string and byte and integer, for example. Okay, so it can hold, for example, it is for all other primitive data type. It can mix them together or it can hold them together, but it's rarely in the practical life to see mixed a list with mixed data type. We go for dictionary or we go for object-oriented class. Okay, this is the second one. We can store it more than one value from more with different types. So I can have a list from string. I can have a list of boolean. I can have a list of numbers, or I mix the mix between them. Elements inside a list are ordered and accessed by index. Yes, because as we described here, the list is a sequence, and the sequence is iterable and ordered. So I can access this by using index. A list allows duplicating elements, meaning that if I have a list of fruits, okay, then I can say in the beginning of the list, I can say, oh, here I have banana, and in the end of the list, I can also have banana, okay, like this. So we can contain double elements. Because why I mentioned that? Because in some data structures like set, it's not allow you to use like duplicating element, and a list or lists are immutables. If you watch the string data type tutorial, for example, if I consider this variable name and I give my name, okay, and please don't use indent or space here at the beginning. If I use like this name of the first index, which is m, I want to replace it, or I want to change it to L, okay, sorry, I want to change it to L, okay, this will not be applied because I cannot access this string, okay, and modify the letter, okay. Let us to execute this, then we will have type error because the string object is not support item assignment. It's not supporting item assignment, meaning that it's not immutable. However, the list, by list I can change any value, okay, based on this assignment, okay. Now let's start, okay, like coding, okay. At the beginning, when we use, for example, when we learn together about string data type, we learned how can we initiate a string variable. By this way, I can initiate a string variable. Okay, it's empty string variable. But how can I initiate a list? variable, I can initiate a list variable as I stated by using square bracket, okay, or I can do it using the reserved word list, okay, which is a reserved class in Python, and I can do like this. By this way, I created list, or I can only use a square bracket if I print the type of this fruit, okay, print type, okay, of the fruit, it will be list. Okay, it's a class list. Or if I print the type here, okay, if I open square brackets, it will be also list. Okay, there now we learn how can we initiate a list. How can I insert items inside a list? We learned together in the previous series of exercises. We mentioned at some cases the usage of list. Okay, so we already introduced how we can initiate a list and how can we add items in the list, but this series of tutorial will go deeper inside the list. So I initiated a list. I want to add anything inside the list. Let's give some items or some fruits like apple, okay, and I will add also banana. I will add also pineapple, okay, this is pineapple, and I want to add chili. Sorry, I want to add chili, okay. Let's see how can I access the first element of this list. Okay, I just type the name of the list and I open the this assignment, this operator. Okay, in which we this is called, by the way, this square brackets inside this square bracket inside the parent. When I use it in the front of the variable directly, it's called index operator. Okay, so I use the square brackets to initiate a list, or I use it directly, okay, without equal here or without anything, and in this case I use it as index operator. If I send in zero index operator, it will print apple. If I will use, for example, 1, it will print the second one, banana. If I will print -1, it will print the last one. And if I will do slicing, I take more than 1. For example, I take it from 0 to 2. Again, in Python, the first index, okay, the start index is inclusive, and the end index is exclusive. We don't use it. We use 2 minus 1, meaning that it will retrieve to you only the first 2, not 0, 1, 2, but 0, 1 index. Okay, if we run this, we have 2 items as what we expected. Also, we can do reverse for this to this list. For example, I use as what we learned also in the string, we can send -1, provided that I use these 2 columns, since I want to consider all elements. Okay, I want to do it like this. So here we, because we sent -1 here in the step, okay, so we reverse the list. Okay, so the last value becomes the first value, and the first value becomes the last value. If I want to print all items of a list, I can use, for example, this. Okay, it will consider all values, or if I can do it like this, it will print the whole value of a list. If I want to also do check or logical operator, we will learn later. But if I want to loop in a list, we learned before how can we loop in a list for f in fruits. Okay, let us print what is f. Okay, and yeah, we printed all items, okay, in the list. And now to go deeper in a list, we want to know about the methods, okay, that can be applied for this list, okay, or the methods or functions. To know where the methods are, we print this syntax. We print help, okay, or we print dir okay, and we submit our variable. Okay, again, if you want to know the functions or the methods embedded with the list class in Python, or with the strings, or with any class in Python, here today we have list. We use dir and we send them variable, and we can see here the whole method that can be applied. It can be applied to the string, from append to clear to copy to count to it's like intensive methods, and we have also special methods. We don't care about this one. You will learn about later when we go to object-oriented programming. Okay, but by dir I can know the whole methods that can be applied to this list. Okay, if I want to know more, okay, about how can I use, for example, count method in this list, and okay, in the fruit list, I, instead of using dir, I use help. Okay, and help will bring to me more detailed about how to apply each method to the fruit variables. Okay, now let's start one by one. Okay, the first one, we want to know the first method or the first function is to know how many items inside this list. We can count them by hand, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you have like 100,000 of items, or a very long list, you cannot count this seamlessly. So let's bring the first method. Okay, we will use is the len, the length, okay, which gives you the length of the method. And here the length is not like meter. It count. The first item is like 1 meter. The second item is like 2 meters. So when you go for different scale, here the length retrieve you how many items are stored inside the list. Okay, so let's run this and open this here. Yes, we have len of 4, okay, which means that we have 4 items. Okay, you can practice this in your home. Okay, then so that's for the length, the number of items. What if I want to check if a specific fruit inside the list, for example, if apple, okay, in fruits like this. So I use logical a check here, okay, or I use Boolean check. Okay, so the output will be here true or false. So this syntax will give me like, does apple located inside the list? Yes or no? Let us check, and here we have a true. Okay, what if I will ask, for example, if it's mango inside the fruit, it will be false. Mango is not inside in this list. How can I add this mango to the list? We use the assignment. Well, if you have like 2 quantity A, and we use this equal, and you use like B like this, so this is called by assignment. Okay, now we want to add in the first index, okay, of this fruit, I want to add mango. Okay, I want to add mango. Okay, meaning that mango will be instead of apple at the first element. Okay, and apple will be cast away, will be deleted. Okay, so if you remember at the beginning of this tutorial, we couldn't change, okay, the first index of the string, but now I can change the first element of this list, because list is immutable. So I can access the list indices, and I can change them, but I cannot do that in a string. Okay, so I assign this at the first index, for example. If I want to add something at the end of the list, I will use append method, fruits dot append. Okay, and I want to append coconut like this. Okay, I love coconut, so I want to append coconut at the end of the list. I use length to count how many numbers, how many items in the list. I use as an assignment to add an item. I use in to check the logical operator. I use a bin to add at the end. If I change my this is the list, by the way, okay, the complete list. But if I change my opinion and I now decide to dislike a coconut, and then I want to delete it from my favorite list, I use .bob method. Bob method will remove the last element, okay, of a list. If you decide to remove the last element of the list, use Bob, okay. And yeah, here because I appended coconut, it is added because then I decide not to append this. I bobbed it, so it's here not contained in the list, okay. I can also remove, I can go like this, remove a specific fruit based on its name. Okay, for example, I do not need to see, for example, cherry. Okay, okay, sorry, not reverse. It should be remove. Okay, and I want to why not? Okay, now we remove chili from the list. Okay, now remember that Bob remove the last item. Remove specific fruit based on its name. But if I want to also add a specific fruit at a specific location, I use to this insert method, okay, and insert it asks me to add the address, the index here, index 0, 1, 2. Here before chili, I want to add kiwi. Why not? This is kiwi, okay, and I want to print the fruit list to see if it works or not. Yeah, instead of having chili, I have now kiwi, okay, and coconut is still appended. I removed the chili, okay. So insert is a method that is used to insert at a specific using a specific index an item. Here I use a fruit, okay. Finally, we want to use for example, a reverse method and sort method, okay. I want to, this is not if I want to use, for example, here I also just to save the same structure, I want to use here, okay, kiwi, okay. If I want to sort all elements inside a list but based on alphabetical order, I just say fruits.sort. It will automatically be sorted, and this sort is applied in a place. So no need to identify a new variable. Okay, let us to print the fruit. Okay, like this, and we can see the original list is contain apple, kiwi, banana, pineapple. Okay. Now the new list, because I did sort, I sorted it in based on alphabetical order, meaning that I look to the first letter, where the first letter A, then where the first, I ordered the list based on the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, okay? So now kiwi, instead of being the second one, it becomes the penultimate one, okay? And pineapple becomes the last one. Okay, however, it should be the first one if I want to take it personally. Okay, now we can also reverse, okay, this list. I can reverse it, but the reverse will not take the last element to the first element. It reverses the index, sorry, not take it based on alphabetical order, but it takes the index, meaning that it will take the last and put it in the first. Then the penultimate pineapple, it will be the second. Then banana will be the third. Okay, kiwi will be the second, the penultimate, and apple will be the last one. So we have sort the fruits or the variable based on alphabetical order. So the one that starts with A will be the one. The second will be start with B. And if we have two start with A, then we will check with the second word. Okay. Now for reverse, no, it's not alphabetical. It go to the last index and put it in the first one, and blah blah till reaching the first element of the list. The last thing, suppose that I want to do sort, but reverse sort in alphabetical order. Then what I can do, I want the first thing is to do sort, okay, for this list. So now I do sort, then I order these items based on its alphabetical order. So apple, banana, then cherry, then kiwi, okay, then pineapple. Then I order them in an alphabetical order. Then if I apply reverse, meaning that I will reorder them from Z to A. Okay, here this, okay, what it does, it sort or shoot from A to Z, okay, in terms of letters, okay. But if I use reverse directly, it will sort this one because this is applied to this, okay. So reverse is applied after sort. Let us check this. Now we have the last one, apple and banana, cherry, kiwi, pineapple, and this is the reverse alphabetical. It's not offered with list methods, but we can do some tricks using some methods. Guys, that's for today's tutorial. We will continue discovering